late 70s, early 80s style British pop music is probably the most important type of music in the world to me. It's me, my dad, Larry, his dad. That was what we were raised on. So
the Beatles were great, but it was great to see what the next generation of bands who were influenced by the Beatles sounded like. Exactly. And I think that's where we kind of come from, where we're coming from.
There's definitely songs that we can draw from. Me and there's songs, individual songs where like, bam, that was supposed to be this, that was supposed to be this band, this was supposed to be that band,
Absolutely.
Which songs?
Head Automatica Sound System, a track off our first album, that was supposed to be like a slightly more dub take on Unbelievable by EMF.
Hollywood is like an ultra track.
Yeah, Young Hollywood, Please 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 is a track off Depeche Mode's
I went
Ultra
from
record.
being a hardcore kid to just wanting to be in Depeche Mode, in 1 year, in 90, and that's what that song's about.
And that song's about that.
That's not lyrically about that, but that's what the sound is, kind of.
I mean, these songs were just songs, like At the Speed of a Yellow Bullet, Beaten to the Punch by Elvis Costello, crossed with Taxman by the Beatles. Like, that was, and, we knew, of course, and we don't mind drawing back to those sounds and having people refer to us.
Still all we listen to. There's just so many. That's another
tons
one
of
those
hardcore
questions.
bands.
Yeah, bands in that level just made it
doing
feel like made you seem like you could feel like you could start a band. You know what I mean? Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to say?
Oh yeah. Well, that too. It's because of these hardcore bands like I'll say Mind Over Matter and VOD from Long Island. Those are like two bands of mine that I worship still. And we have gone further than those dudes kind of went. But I still look at them as so huge, larger than life to me that I feel like I'll never get to that point. But
they made you want to play.
Yeah, and they made me want to play in the first place, and we took it and ran with it more than they even did. But those are still like idols to us.
I don't know. I just at this point I'm kind of over lyric writing right now. I'm like post lyric guy at this point, and it's like anything that's kind of like tongue in cheek or just so sardonic and sickening, so sarcastic. It's like, I mean, I'm honest. I'm totally honest and I'm totally real and I can be touching, but for the most part, I like just digs, because I guess that's lyrically where I've always kind of been at. But I'm just so over. Storyteller lyrics. I don't.
I think the stuff he comes up with is just so personal to him that outside of it, you may not be able to wrap it all up and make sense of it, but it's definitely heavy because it's so obscure. It's definitely about things that have happened to him. It's best to leave it ambiguous and just kind of let you pick your own story, because maybe exact things happen to you, or maybe not at all, but for some reason those words make sense to you. I think it's better
totally.
like that.
And it's
not cut and dry, trying to make sense of it.
Yeah, I agree. I totally
let
agree.
Let it be this broad, general idea that can fit a bunch of scenarios,
I also wouldn't sit and explain to my mother, this song's called Laughing at You. It has to do with the music industry. It has to do with everything.
Some are a little more practically
exactly.
come across, but some are cryptic and they're supposed to be for a reason, because it's like, hey, I don't want to tell you everything about myself,
We complained as it was happening because it was so rigorous, and we spent years in the van in Glassjaw. We were in Europe and then this and that, and then my health and all this. It was so raw, but for as much as we complained, I would never want to work a desk job.
No.
I would never sit
That's
at a
why
9 to
we
5
do this.
job.
We're just not. We're incapable.
Incapable of living in normal society,
Yeah.
and all we do is play music. We happen to have been born with that's what we do,
Yeah.
and we're not capable of having a real job. What would I? There's nothing. I wouldn't do anything. What am I going to do? No way. No way. I could complain about all the touring in the world and not sleeping for a month straight, and it doesn't matter. I would never be a construction worker, and I would never be a dude in an office.
You never could be a construction
Oh,
worker.
yeah, I know. Not like I could.
You can't lift a cement block. Neither can I. It takes two of us.
To lift one trowel.
Yeah, forget it. Wheelbarrow. You'd have to grab one thing, and I grab the other.
We mean it, and we really like what we do. We take pride in it. We really enjoy doing what we do, more than most people we've met enjoy. A lot of people do not enjoy it that much, but they make that money, so they keep going. We don't make that money, and we really enjoy it.
We just like being on stage.
We just really like being on stage together.
Especially this particular group of people that we're playing with, exactly those 5 people right now.
If you can actually get the 5 of us together and the five of us are there on stage somewhere, it'll be special. We promise. But